Hey everybody, Matthew Morris, Wood Studio. It's been a couple weeks, sorry about that. I've just been working really hard here in the shop, so that means it's time for another shop update. Before we get into the cabinets, real quick, I did a video for Highland Woodworking. It's linked in the description below and up here in the cards, and it's reviewing their Flex Light. It's a magnetic base. It's really awesome. I've been using it here in the shop on this project, and it's really cool. So if you haven't seen it already, check out that review. Again, link in the description and up here in the cards. All right, so let's talk about the case, or the cabinet itself. So the last time I left you, I had glued one up, and I had glued the bases for both of them up. And then it was time to focus on getting the second cabinet ready for glue up, and that's what I did. And all the joinery had already been done, so all I needed to do was spend a whole bunch of time sanding the cabinet, rounding over my edges, and cleaning up the end grain, and then I was able to glue the cabinet together. So then, with both cabinets at the same step, the same part of the process, then I could move forward. And the next thing to do was to work on the drawers. Now before, I don't know, it was before drawers or around there, I got the baskets in. So I've got one of them here, and I have two of these. And I think these work really well for the width of the cabinet, also for the depth too. Let's talk about the drawers. So I've got two per cabinet, and the first thing to do was to mill up a whole bunch of material for this. So I took a whole bunch of rough hickory and walnut, cut that to length, and then with the rough 8/4 lumber, I headed over to the jointer and I flattened one edge of all of that. And that's so when I bring it over to the bandsaw and I'm cutting, I'm trying to reference against some face that's relatively flat. And that way, most likely, my blade is going to be pretty vertical through the piece. The reason I did this for the 8/4 lumber for the drawer fronts is I had some really beautiful grained walnut, and I wanted to create book-matched cabinets. So the drawers here on this cabinet, this is going to be the right side of the bed, and the drawers on the other cabinet, the left side of the bed, the grain runs into each other. It's probably something that most people won't see, but for me and for you guys, I have no doubt it's something that you'd want to do as well. The approach to the joinery here is twofold. One, dados or grooves for the drawer bottoms, and then a dado for the drawer back. Now for the front, I did a rabbet joint. Okay, so I made sure that I left 1/4 inch on the front of the rabbet when I cut that joint, and that it was the same depth as the sides of the drawers. I did some surface prep on the parts themselves and got them all ready to go for glue up, and then I glued everything up with a whole bunch of parallel clamps. After that, I made a couple of jigs, one for the top drawers and one for the bottom drawers here. And that was so I could add dowels to reinforce that rabbeted joint. Let me talk about what I did to create the stopped dados at the router table. Now, I used an article from Fine Woodworking magazine, and I improvised off of it because it wouldn't work for my router table setup. But long story short is I made a secondary fence, and I created a stop that was equal distance on either side of the center point of the router bit. And what that did was it allowed me to take the drawer sides and route a stop dado, and that gave me the grooves, and then I could cut my teak. And the reason I chose teak was it's oily by nature, and that means that it'll self-lubricate, and these drawers, as they go back and forth over time, will be self-lubricated for this action of going back and forth. Now you can use ash. Ash would be great. Quarter-stone white oak would probably be great too. I just wanted to try teak. And I started working on some handles. Gotta prototype them. I've got an idea of what I want to do next, but need to spend some time working on that. That's pretty much it. As always, please subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, hit that thumbs up button if you like this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, hit the like button, share your timeline, and head over to the MM Wood Studio site and like us there as well. And as always, have a great week in your shop. Woo! I'm loving the cabinet, by the way, everybody. Really loving it. The other one looks great too. I just can't wait to get these finished and show you guys. And it's gonna be cool. All right, thanks. Talk to you guys later. Woohoo!